Okay, today I am reviewing FTL. Now, apologies, I still have not yet acquired my video editing software, so I'm not going to be able to splice in everything for you. It's just going to be me talking. However, there are plenty of screenshots and videos up on the web, including a Let's Play of my own, in which you watch me get some of my viewers killed. It's a good time. FTL is a space sim. I can liken it the most, it's like playing an episode of Star Trek, or rather maybe even a season of Star Trek. You captain a spaceship, really you oversee it, and you micromanage your crew members and various ship subsystems as you travel the galaxy in hopes of delivering information that your ship carries to the end point, whatever that is. Honestly, truly, I haven't seen it. I've been playing this game for about 12 hours, and I have not yet reached the end. I keep failing, and it is fun to fail at this game. It has that Dark Souls quality to it, where failure is not... It's my own. It is my own failure. It is not the game's fault. It is not some cheap enemy attack. It is my own fault that I die in combat. And I think that's something that really gives FTL a certain quality to it. It makes you own up to your mistakes. So let's talk gameplay. Again, the game is about captaining a starship. Now, it is a 2D game, indie title, top-down. You see all the rooms of the starship in a blueprint-like fashion, and your crew members are all running around on it. And it's divided up into a grid, and each crew member can occupy one square. Some rooms are maybe 2 squares large and some 4, and so you can have only a certain number of crew members in any one given room. Your ship consists of various systems and subsystems, including shields, your FTL drive, oxygen, weapons, medbay, piloting, cameras, sounds weird, like a scanner system, and the door systems themselves. These systems play an integral role in how you manage your ship and what happens during combat scenarios. At any point, you can divert power from one system to help power a different system. Your ship only has so much power, which can be upgraded via an in-game store at any time, or various other stores that you encounter as you travel the galaxy. Your ship can be upgraded. Each system has added benefits that you get from upgrading it using scrap as currency, which is actually a lot rarer than you would think. Now, aside from running these upgrades into your ship and making it better as you go, your crew members themselves will also improve its skills as they maintain time on your starship. They can fight in hand-to-hand combat, as well as their presence in various rooms with the systems allows them to give you an added buff to that system. For example, your weapons system will recharge 15% faster if it is manned by a crew member. So placement of your crew, as well as the health of your crew, as well as the number of crew, is all very important in how this game plays. Your crew is also very important in repairing systems that are damaged during combat. Combat itself plays out in so far that you can use your weapons to target their ship, and specifically you want to target their systems. Now, I noticed that combat is, I won't call it broken, but it is biased. It is extremely advantageous to take out either their weapon systems or their shield system immediately, and to target that until the end of combat. There is no strong incentive, as so far that I've played, to target anything other than the weapon system or the shielding system of the enemy ship. Taking out their doors will not do anything to them. No. Taking out their weapons prevents them from returning fire. Taking out their shields prevents them from recharging their shields. It seems a logical solution that if they allow you to see their systems, and they do, that you would target those systems. Beyond that, your people can board their ship, and their ship people can board your ship, and you will fight hand-to-hand with your crew members. Each crew member gets a little health bar, and they can be healed in the med bay on your ship. You can acquire more crew members through various other activities, and exploring the galaxy is part of that. The galaxy is broken into a tree of star systems, and as you progress along the tree, you choose sort of what type of area you want to go into, and from there each star system has smaller systems that you jump around in on your way to the exit of that star system. Now these act as dungeons. As you explore each star system, various events will occur, such as running into friendly or enemy ships, some ships you're not so sure about, or maybe you'll run into an alien planet or a distress beacon or a store to buy things from. There's a lot of different scenarios that can play out, and while many of them are actually quite familiar, I can't tell you how many times I ran into some indigenous species on a planet, clicking an option of what to do, whether to try and enslave the planet and get some new crew members, or to maybe negotiate with them, will result in something different. It's all very behind the scenes, and it's very luck-based, really. There's not a good way for risk versus reward here. It is a roguelike. It will play out differently every single time you play the game. So gameplay-wise, it's really, really fun. I really like FTL. I'm smiling now that I get to talk about the part that I like. You can tell I'm smiling. And if you watch my Let's Play, I'm smiling the whole time. The game is super fun. It's so goofy. There's so much to do despite the simplicity of the game. There's a lot of intricacy to it. You know, during combat, where do you want your crew position? Do you need a system repaired? Is there a fire you need to put out? Are there people that have just beamed aboard your ship and are taking hammers to your oxygen system? I had a ship choke to death in the 7th star system because my oxygen system got totally screwed up by the onboard guys, and they killed half my crew, and it was a bad judgment call. And it was one of those things that I had to suffer for my mistakes. If I had gotten crew down to the oxygen platform fast enough, we could have fought off the attackers and we'd have been okay. But instead, my crew choked to death. I mean, that's it. They choked to death. And it's part of that is what makes FTL so fun. All of the decision making you have to do. Do I, risk hailing this ship in that they might attack me, or maybe they will give me supplies even. There's a lot of ways to do that. There are 9 ships that you can unlock, and sadly I think these are the only 9 varieties of ships that you can ever really encounter. So we're starting to get into the visuals aspect here. The visuals of the game do eventually become stale, but they serve their purpose. There's just not a lot of variety to the game visually, because ultimately you're on one ship that's the main focus the whole time, and you jump through space, which is black, and from planet to planet, which might be different color, or from starship to starship, which will be one of the 8 other varieties of ship. Sleepy. But ultimately the visuals serve their purpose. It's cartoony, it's clean, it's clear, you can always tell what's going on. The interface, however, is a bit cluttered. And I don't know if that is intentional to make it feel like I'm running a starship, or if it's just due to the complexity of the systems at hand. Each individual system gets its own power bar, and as those power bars, fall and rise, your systems are powered or less powered, and you get different buffs, etc. There is a lot visually going on the HUD of the game. And again, just take a quick look at my Let's Play and you know exactly what I'm talking about. You've got oxygen monitoring. You've got dodge chance. You've got your crew health bars over on the left. You've got your ship's health and its shields and how much fuel you have and how many missiles you have and how many drones you have and your money and whether or not you can jump or access your ship or access a store. And then you've got your 8 different systems down there, each with its own power bar. Is it manned? Is it unmanned? Here's your weapon system. There is so much visual information on your HUD that it can sometimes be quite overwhelming to process. And it's one of the reasons why I wish that there had been a more specific alert. If one of your systems goes down, you hear a siren. But I really think that maybe an automated voice saying, shields at 75%, might actually like help me hone in on the fact that like, okay, I've been over here watching the enemy ship, trying to see what they're doing. I've completely lost track of what's over here. And I think that's part of both the fun and challenge of FTL, and that you must be that ship captain. You must be aware situationally at all times of everything. But I think that's also what sort of hurts FTL, in that there is so much to be aware of, it can be quite overwhelming. That being said, do not let it deter you from this game. It is super fun. Again, the visuals, okay, they work for what they do. They send the message they need to send. But coupled with the interface, it gets to be a little much. The sound design is pretty blasé. The soundtrack gets old after the first hour. I played it for roughly 12. It's like that music in Minecraft. Like, eventually you just wish it would go away. And it never really changes, and so you're really incentivized to find something else to listen to. As far as the laser sounds and the missile sounds, pew pew, kapsh, kapsh, very basic stuff. It's not going to win any awards for sound design anytime soon, I can tell you that much. And again, if they'd had that automated voice in there, it might have made the game a bit easier to play, although I'm not sure that's what the devs were going for. It's always tough to tell with indie titles exactly what the developer's intention is on the way that you feel when you're playing the game, but I'm certain that plenty of FTL players love the idea that they have to be the ones that are totally aware of the scenario. As far as the controls go for the game, the controls are very tight. Everything has a hotkey, and the hotkey is either visible to you on the HUD or through a quick mouse over. But everything can also be controlled via the mouse. And so a good, experienced captain will be using both the mouse and the keyboard to make everything just this wonderful, well-oiled machine of space exploration. But a novice captain will find themselves floundering, and indeed that's the case in my video, which is the first time I'd ever played the game. I kept forgetting to fire my weapons, which I learned later you can place on auto-fire, so now I feel even dumber. The narrative, there is no narrative. There's not. But this is a game about writing your own story. This is one of those games that I picture just a group of friends sitting around a table and telling stories about what happened to their ship. Because there's so many things. And the idea that you can both rename your ship and rename all of your crew members lends itself to be a more personal story. Just like what XCOM did recently, you can name your crew members after your own friends, and it gives a sense of personal attachment to the crew members. So to see one die in a fire or to accidentally jettison one out of an airlock is, well, terrible. But also possible. You know, Jacob, get down to the missile system. Bill, get over to the shield system. I need you over there. Bill, no! Like, and I got that with my Let's Play. I named them after my viewers, and unfortunately, I got them all killed. So, my bad. But it is a game about writing your own stories and your own narrative. And indeed, if you are an FTL player, I'm sure that you, if you're part of the community, have told a few stories about crazy things that have happened on your starship. I mean, we're talking about a game that I say likens itself to playing a season of Star Trek. You hop from uncharted world to uncharted world, encountering alien ships, both friendly and foe. You don't know what you're going to get yourself into, and when you do get yourself into those situations, how do you react? Are you a good captain? Can you come out of combat? Do you make that last-minute jump to another system if your FTL drive is powered up? These are all decisions that you're going to be making, and part of that sort of, you know, tense atmosphere that combat brings in this game. It's so basic, and yet it's just so intense. And I cannot recommend this game enough to those of you who think that you would like to play the game. And it seems silly, but if you like what you've been hearing, this is a good game for you. It runs $10 normally, but it is very often on sale. I got it for $2.50, and it might be one of the best $2.50 I've ever spent in video gaming. Not that I've ever spent that much that often, but I can tell you right now, even at $10, it should be worth the price of admission. But it frequently goes on sale, so I would almost say hold off until you can get it for $5. And it is available on FTLgame.com, so you can watch the site. They have the discount right there on the page, but also Kotaku runs an almost daily article called The Money Saver, and FTL frequently pops up in there because Kotaku themselves also recommend this game. So should you play it? Yes, you absolutely should. I give this game a 75 out of 100. Remember that 50 is not crap. This is not an IGN scale where 5 is like, forget it. It only got a 5. Now, 75 is highly recommended by me to go play. The only reason I could see you not liking this game is if you really don't like space. You really don't like indie games. I mean, come on. If you play Steam Greenlight, if you jump for joy at Humble Bundles, there is absolutely no reason why you probably already don't own FTL. And if you don't, what are you doing? Go play this game. It's a whole lot of fun. I mean, you're getting a ton of value for the small price of admission. And even though there isn't a narrative to speak of, I guarantee you, you're going to have fun challenging yourself to get your ship that much farther, to get your score that much higher, and to unlock the various new weapon systems and drone systems that you can for your vessel. The game adds in complexity as you move forward if you're skilled. The game is very bare bones and fly-by-wire if you are just running very fast through it. I still have not reached the end. I am not that good of a star captain yet, but I intend on making it one of my stretch goals for the summer is to get good enough at FTL to beat it. If it can be beaten, I'm not real sure. So there you have it, my FTL review. Great gameplay, tight controls, write your own narrative. The visuals are satisfactory, sound design a little lacking, but I don't know, turn on some music while you play, like do something like that. It's only got the one mode, single player, but it's sufficient. And a great in-game tutorial for learning the ins and outs. It gives you a basic setup, but it's up to you to discover the various intricacies of the game itself. 75 out of 100, FTL, check it out.